Hello, this is Wally Taylor from Texas Integrative, and I want to make a short video today to answer a question that I'm asked a lot about how to avoid chemical toxins. My mission at Texas Integrative is to try to help you learn to avoid the chronic illness and reduce longevity that's associated with exposure to our toxic world today. But one of the first things that always comes up when we're helping people with these kinds of problems is to talk to them about how to eliminate exposure to toxins. You know, if you've got problems related to toxins, which we all do, in toxicology, the first rule is always to try to reduce the ongoing exposure. It's kind of like if you're trying to wait for a train to go by a crossing, it's never going to go by if somebody's at the end of the train continuing to add cars to the end of the train. But in today's world, we unfortunately are surrounded by toxins in our air, food, and water. And so it really is important for people to realize how much they need to avoid that. So one of the first things we talk to people about is how do they get clean water? Clean water is critically important because water is what fuels our detox pathways, particularly the liver, the kidney, the intestines, and our sweat glands. So good, clean water is really important. And unfortunately, most of the drinking water today is not very good. Even our city water from the tap is often laced with drugs that have been partially decomposed and with other chemicals and may even contain toxic heavy metals such as lead, in addition to potentially being contaminated with germs. And well water can even be more suspect. So I always tell people it's a good idea to really drink a lot of good filtered water or even a bottled water. And I always prefer for people to drink out of glass bottles as opposed to plastic bottles because some of the plastics, like the clear bottles that soda pop comes in, are often laced with toxic chemicals as well. So in addition to drinking plenty of good clean water, and a good rule of thumb is for you to drink about 1 ounce for every 2 pounds of your body weight, just as a rule of thumb, is to eat good clean food, and not only clean food that's devoid of chemicals, but also nutrient-rich foods. So I always tell my patients that they really want to avoid packaged foods, you know, the kind of foods that come in plastic wrappers and plastic boxes, and when you read the labels, have lots and lots of ingredients, many of them with chemical sounding names that may even be difficult to pronounce. I prefer it when my patients eat real food, fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, lean meats, healthy fats. This seems to be the kind of food that is usually more devoid of chemicals. It's also a good idea to shop as organically as you can afford, but I don't want people to get an unsafe or a sense of security, because it turns out that even some organic food can really have a lot of toxins in them as well. But anyway, eating clean food, very important. And of course, it's awfully important to breathe clean air. So that's especially important when it comes to sources of contamination in our indoor air, such as indoor molds or even natural gas leaks or radon gas and those sorts of things. But if you have symptoms that you think might be related to exposure to toxins, symptoms like chronic fatigue, chronic aches and pains, chronic brain fog, chronic digestive symptoms, take a good hard look at your environment and do what you can to clean that up, because that's always the first step. I'll be talking more in this series of videos about the other ways that you can understand what's going on relative to these environmental toxins, and not only further ways to avoid them, but also some important ways to try to help your body clear them, which is a very important step as well. So stay tuned to my upcoming group of videos. And if you like this, please like my YouTube channel, share this with your friends on social media, and look forward to helping you and your family to have ultimate health from head to toe.